Hello and welcome everyone. This is the very first video about the visual patient avatar on this channel. My name is David Scholl. Today is Saturday, the 19th of July 2025. I'm coming to you from Zurich, Switzerland. In this first video, I would like to explain why an image can sometimes complement a number in a powerful way. This is not about completeness. I couldn't possibly cover everything about it, but it's about a thought construct in an attempt to describe a deeper truth. This is something I got from Chris Bedane. When looking at these numbers, letters and symbols here, some of you may recognize that they represent coordinates that code for a geographical location. Fewer of us may recognize through the S here that the position lies in the southern hemisphere. But with just a glance at this image, we would have all known that it's a position in Australia, specifically in Canberra. It's the site of the first visual patient avatar emergency department installation. The Australian Philips team did a great job there, and I'm wearing my hat in their tribute. Here is another example to illustrate how images are often easier to understand than raw data. Some viewers may be able to read these characters, perhaps recognizing Mandarin, Japanese, Sanskrit, French, English or German. But if the image of this flower had been shown directly, the meaning would have been instantly clear to all of us. That's because we think in images. Just as language can evoke mental pictures, for example when we read a book, images themselves can convey understanding. And often they do so faster and more intuitively than information that must first be read and mentally processed. We find the same principle in other domains. For example, philosophy. Arthur Schopenhauer wrote in his The World as Will and Representation that all original thinking takes place in images, and therefore it is a necessary instrument of thought. Ludwig Wittgenstein, in turn, in his Tractatus Logico Philosophicus, shared that a model must have a logical commonality with the reality it represents. For example, the model of an airplane should mirror the look of an airplane. The NASA Pyramid of Information Architecture supports this view. It shows that raw data emerging from signals here does not yet constitute information. Only when these data are structured and contextualized, for instance, by representing vital parameters in an avatar organized around organ systems, does the information become truly meaningful. Mika Ensley, the inventor of situation awareness, emphasized the importance of direct information transfer without detours, without the need for cognitive translation. And finally, Susan Blake Wachter, who pioneered the well-known lung visualization, now a standard in all modern respirators, demonstrated that information transfer worked best when anatomically correct visualizations were used. In other words, when the display resembled the human body, the understanding improved. My son's very first word was cat, but he didn't say it when he saw a real cat. He said it when he saw the picture of a cat in a children's book. And that made me aware that even before he spoke his first word, he recognized the cat not through language, but through its visual features. Through direct representation of information in that image, it reached him faster and easier than words. And this isn't unique to children. If we look far back in history, we see that ancestors painted on cave walls long before written language existed. Their first impulse to communicate knowledge and emotions wasn't through letters or numbers, it was through images. We think in pictures. Only later did we translate these pictures into language. The invention of the visual patient avatar is also deeply rooted in the power of images. It all began on June 1st, 2012, when I first flew a DA-42NG aircraft. The registration here, the Oscar Echo Foxtrot Charlie Sierra. I experienced synthetic vision for the first time, and synthetic vision renders a 3D image of the flight environment that pilots can intuitively understand. Instead of piecing together a mental model from dozens of numbers and figures, as traditionally was required, the situation becomes clear in a single glance. A mountain looks like a mountain, a lake looks like a lake, and a runway looks like a runway. It's like the view out of the window on a clear day, no matter what the weather is. This visual representation dramatically improves the sense of safety and pilots' situation awareness because they instantly know where they are. After seeing this for the first time, I drew this proto-visual patient, this prototype of the visual patient avatar. At the time I was a young anesthesia resident, constantly looking at single sensor, single indicator displays on our patient monitors, trying to mentally reconstruct what was happening with the patient. I thought we need to turn this into an image. There's a reason why we say I don't have the full picture yet, or the right picture is worth 1,000 numbers, or I believe it when I see it. These phrases aren't just metaphors, they reflect how our minds work. We humans are just much better at interpreting form, frequency, and colors than we are at interpreting a lot of numbers, especially when we have to interpret them at the same time. We can only remember 7 plus minus 2 numbers in our short-term memory. This is from an old paper from 1956. If I want to see if I can eat my banana, I will look at it with my eyes and I will make my decision. Try to find something in a dark hotel room at night when you don't know your surroundings. This has been going on since the beginning of time. We are visual beings and we can pick up the information more easily if the information looks like what we would expect in our real world. This concludes the first video. We say goodbye to you now from Zurich. May you always have good situation awareness and keep closing the holes in the Swiss cheese. Thank you, bye bye.